出せなくて心から俺のすべてを君に小首をかしげて上目遣いにほら風も笑ってる今日はいい日だねみんなが君に微笑み返すまるで天使さ透き通るようにみんなが君に両手を差し伸べまるで天使さ眩しいばかりのだからありがとう幸せな気分さありがとうそばにいるだけで Thank you so much幸せな気分さありがとうそばにいるだけでありがとうこんな俺のためにありがとう笑顔で答えてくれて一言も声に出せなくて心から俺のすべてを君にありがとうこんな俺のために
Off the album Freedom, that was Arigato by Johnny Yoshinaga. Hey, speaking of Johnny, Rain is available to come on through. Nice to see you again. Always a privilege and a pleasure. Fans of user interfaces and whatnot will be pleased to see I've made very, very minor adjustments to the scoring and whatnot here. You probably won't be able to notice if you haven't paid attention. No more playing games, though. We're gonna get straight into it. Let's rock.
Get on to rock, get up to burn, stand with the pride and burn, feel your desire. One day I noticed that my life
Hello and welcome. I'm going to be choosing some round 2 matches in just a moment. And I'll put those in the Discord, but in the meantime, I'm just looking to lay eyes on this pair of gamers that has stepped on up to the podium. I tell you what, it is blazing hot in this room, and I've had a tiny amount of wine, so the tiny person that I am, I'm already completely blitzed for the evening. I'm gonna be perspiring and complaining a lot, so don't mind me too much. I'll try to keep it entertaining most of the way through. Okay, we have 2 gamers at the podium. Be waiting for them to start the match any second now. And in the meantime, I will be picking out 2 round 2 matches so that we can move things along nice and quick. Start off being a little cagey. inXplotch getting aggressive. Good air dash over the rock from tilionvevfet. It's important to react to that, so tilionvevfet is playing the game. Looks like reaction by inXplotch. Oh yeah, working. No, not quite on a perfect. It's close though. Yeah, it's been a bit since tilionvevfet's come through, but we're always glad to see returning gamers come through, no matter how long it's been. What a 5k anti-air! A bit of dancing in neutral, projectiles, air dashes. inXplotch is making the most of this spacing. That wall break. There it is, the stun dipper RC. Seeing a charge dust, really? tilionvevfet is in it to win it. inXplotch. Yeah, that's gonna happen when you have a 100-meter. Keep your eyes peeled for that, people. Okay. I'll be getting our round 2 matches taken care of right this moment. Keep your eyes on that. Okay, that should be in the Discord there. Apologies for any delay in commentary. Not a whole lot has happened. Good positioning from inXplotch to take the corner, as Ramlethal is wont to do. Something that's been pretty consistent with Ramlethal's design throughout the whole of Strive is she's played a lot around the wall. She wants to drive people to the wall, her resources get refreshed around the wall, and now with more plus frames behind those swords, she can lock you down harder at the wall. Good to see the design in this game has been laser focused from day one. Good dash block. Good wild assault to convert from what would have been a tricky... Ooh. You know, sometimes you just jump, air dash back, and hit a button when your back's to the wall and beats what the other person is trying to do. Managed to steal burst from inXplotch already. Managed to coax it out, rather. Anti-air 5P, it's always a bit dicey to use the charge stun edge in neutral, but a delayed reaction like that can, you know, work in your favor. You gotta be on the ball to get the most out of instant air dash punishes. We're into round 3. Good spacing from, again, the charge stun edge. Good spacing. inXplotch playing aware of the game. Jumping back. You gotta be careful at a distance like that. If you try to air dash back, you get hit, dash back, you can get hit by Ram charging in. You try to stand your ground, you're gonna get clobbered by a bar slash or a 5H. tilionvevfet is definitely rallying. It's not a clean sweep, and they're in the lead with positive to boot. Resources, though, not enough to cancel that stun dipper. inXplotch is gonna take advantage of that. Doesn't have a hard knockdown. What will, you know, just... If you got the meter, do it. I like the jousting there with the meter and the gold burst and whatnot. tilionvevfet clinging to life. One interaction. Ooh! That was a good 6p. Very nice. tilionvevfet clinches it. Listen, See, here's the thing. When I talked about, like, parity between challenge and whatever names, challenge and Discord names, that doesn't account for the nicknames y'all use for each other. I was talking to Rain, and Rain is saying, you know, if you have any questions about who goes where, because I think you should put this person there. And I said, I don't know who that is, because I don't know what nicknames y'all use for each other. Unfortunately, Ethalux, it looks like, missed a check-in. So, you know, only a 10-person bracket, but that's not so bad. I like a nice compact bracket with a regular moving gallery of shakers and movers. Good dust, taking advantage of the plus frames from the sword. It can happen to you. There we go. inXplotch starting to realize what they're up against. These charged stun edges in neutral. Gets a good air dash reaction. Throw into throw. Scouting for throw tech or a back dash. Just goes for a close slash. There we go. Lots of 6Ps from inXplotch now. Ooh! inXplotch up 2-1 now. There we go, the air conditioner's starting to hit. I think it'll be alright, everybody. It's gonna be an okay day. It's all gonna be alright. It's gonna be alright for tilionvevfet, though. inXplotch just 2 rounds away. We're moving on to round 2. Don't you just love these natural 6H counter hit setups, Gatling strings? So they can hit like a nuclear bomb, like Steve is saying. Right, tilionvevfet giving up ground. inXplotch. Yeah, that's Teddy's job. Teddy snapped through last week for anybody who wasn't here. But C-Drive, champ from last week, is available. That's a gutsy burst from tilionvevfet, especially when Ram has 100 meter. inXplotch is looking very solid at this point in the evening. You know, sometimes you just don't react with an anti-air in time, and you get clobbered by the jump in. inXplotch determined not to get too overwhelmed, though. Fighting back and fighting back well. Has plenty of meter to work with. I did not know the sword could just whip on you like that. So excuse the not too dramatic finish, but that's gonna be inXplotch up 3-0. We'll be moving on to the next round. Speaking of which, we got 2 more gamers coming through, 4 more gamers coming through for 2 more matches. Letting everybody know loser side. All matches will be streamed, so jump the gun too hard. Alright, we got 2 WeebCup regulars coming through. Fatcatteddy on player 1 side with Sin Kiss. Stinky Steve on the right. Steve playing gutsy, just going for an immediate green to anti-air far slash, I see. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Alright, Steve is nasty with it this evening. No doubt from watching me struggle with Sin and all the brackets I've entered, Stinky Steve's been doing their homework. Okay, okay. Steve is mixing up playing patient and going for good anti-air options. Knows the punishes. Getting the proper safe jumps. He's patient. Gold burst, you maniac. You know, if you RC there, leave time to react, someone with a DP can react to it. So you gotta be careful. Teddy is rallying for sure. Opting to keep a little bit of meter to work with, not going for the big cash out. I tell you, these anti-air close slash has been working real well. Good shimmy. This goes for the counter super. All right, Steve with one on the board. Listen, I know I can't be biased or anything, but hey, I'm pretty excited to see Sin lose. We'll have to see. I can't be too biased. I do not like that Sin character. But you know, Stinky Steve, he's a gamer, but Fatcatteddy has a huge variety of characters like this unexpected choice. I appreciate the emote post there. Okay, so this matchup is about as good as it's ever been for Anji at this point in the game. However, it is still kinda trash. Potemkin has a lot of ways to deal with what Anji brings to the table. Big health, yeah, eat this Potemkin buster. Eat this counter. Air dashing in, yeah, far slash and 5H both. Keep clipped by the shockwave there. Of slide head. Remember, slide head does damage in this version of the game. Garuda Impact, as you know, is a projectile now, so Anji gets the weaker version of the counter super if he tries to fight back with that. Good deflect. Alright, Steve is looking to play in neutral, but like before, Potemkin has a very big variety of big normals. Uh-oh. The deflector is coming. Alright, Steve. Using a variety of air dash buttons there for different amounts of hits for Teddy to deal with. Ooh, nice scoop. There's a frame trap. You gotta be careful when you get hit by this gentleman with an OTG. The butterfly can and will bully you. Good Midari. In the case of JD, for the most part, Anji's anti-airs are not up to snuff, and spin is the solution to want to try. Good spin. We see a backdoor incident! Into a buster. Oh, beats it! Doesn't follow up with a big punish, though. This is for the throw. Remember, throw can be the spookiest option to just use. Steve is mixing right now. Not in the way you might think, but with the delays and follow-ups. Very nice. Steve is gaming. Now, Steve ended up being the #1 seed last week for reasons, but is definitely living up to the potential they were marked down for. We'll have to see what Teddy is going to bring to the table. Will we see a Slayer? We see a gold Lewis? Bedman? Perhaps? I've never seen a Bedman from Teddy's side of the bracket, but we'll have to see. tension is building. It's Johnny. I'm gonna keep eyes on this one. I played Gamer last night in TNS who did not handle the Anji matchup particularly well. So we'll have to see what mine eyes can divine to help to assist them. I feel like I don't need to run you down the basics of what this character can do. Johnny has best-in-class normals, has very good zoning potential with the threat of card, trying to push you into cards with his normals. The card explosion can catch and frame trap you. Ooh, nice, nice. He's making good use of the RC to create frame trap gaps. Oh yeah, Johnny just has absurd health for some reason too. There's a backdash to catch any kind of potential safe jump and keep Teddy safe. Hence the fly RC. And gets the bonk to go to set point. Ooh. This is the range Johnny wants to play at, and it's a little spooky for Anji. He's got to gamble with spin, and if Anji's playing patient, you know, Johnny can just wait it out and shoot the recovery. Put on the table. Yeah, see how far the card pop hits? Nomidare, probably expecting a backdash. Steve's gonna feel it. Going through the wall for sure. Yeah, this is the round, definitely. Yep. Teddy's rallying, looking to put one on the board. Just the throw on. I think the staggering is a little too ambitious from Steve. See a couple opportunities dropped. Deal out some major damage. You see a back throw incident there, and a... Oh, gets a little too ambitious with the attempt to steal a turn when they're minus. Steve. Can't believe that card pop didn't catch the backdash. Oh, baits the burns. Teddy is definitely working with less life, though. Steve. Almost has the means to make it happen and does. 3-0. Bit of a surprise, that one. Steve will be moving on to top 8 winners side. Teddy moving down the loser side of the bracket. Alright, we're getting our next match. Just a moment, we're gonna have Sleepingsnorunt and Markiplier coming through. I've been meaning to reach out to Markiplier just to get the Axel matchup knowledge going at some point. I lost to an Axel a few weeks back in Guilty Ear, and I got eliminated by one in TNS yesterday evening, so I gotta get the experience for this character at some point. We're waiting for some gamers to go. Okay, we're ready. Bedman? Hell yeah! I'm always glad to see Bedman. Speaking of Bedman, a friend of the stream. That is a name and a half, I tell you. Speaking of Bedman, friend of the stream and WeebCup regular Head Chef managed to win their very first bracket the other day. They ran 6 straight matches back from losers and managed to flip things around in grand finals. So kudos to them. That's a Bedman player and a half right there. We are seeing a little bit of jousting in the long range where both of these characters want to be. for the malfunction. Doesn't quite manage to get it. Deadman being worried by these little 5p, 2p checks from Axel. Good air to air. The JP. JP has been a bit of a demon move in the past with this character. Not getting the biggest punish, getting 2p. Fire. Trying to keep things small and compact, not committing to anything really big at the moment. Maybe this is the optimal way to play this matchup. Maybe Markiplier only wants to win with a single button. I saw mostly 5Ps, JPs, and 2Ps that whole match. Right, if you're not right outside of top 8, we're holding off. Let's be real, Axel does have very good jump buttons, the P buttons. Okay, now Markiplier's stepping things up, starting to use some chains into other stuff now. Very cagey stuff. I'm not sure if we're seeing some kind of japes right now or not. I'll have to ask what's going on after this. Huge grip of damage for Snorunt, though. Trying to, as if making Markiplier try to do something else. Just with a scoop. Blocks the overhead. It's clipped by the punch. Okay, Markiplier is starting to do combo now. Caught by the very end of the 2H. It's a tricky button if you don't know what you're up against, you know? It's every hit is a low. You know, for the mid-range game, P is probably the best button to hit, so maybe Markiplier was on something. Tornado, I tell ya. Markiplier driven towards the corner, under the malfunction pressure. Manages to sneak their way out, forcing Snorunt to spend the burst. Not with a big bunch of meter, though. Hey, this song has just managed to finish looping at this point in the game. Under the task B pressure, malfunction coming through. Those plus frames from Rainwater. I guess the song ends. Good timing. I wonder what all is and isn't intentional in this match after that very cagey first couple of rounds there. I understand when you don't want to overextend yourself, but at the same time, you know, don't play it too slow. Alright, we're going right back into it. Flyer. Just pressuring Snorunt to walk towards the wall. Getting a couple bombers. Fully looping, but managing to hit that wall break with one. Ooh, what a backdash! Thought for sure Snorunt was going to get scooped by the Winter Mantis. Manages to catch the overhead, a couple 5Ps. Snorunt under pressure. Let's say in chip range. Now he gets hit by the low. Immediately going for the tornado. Interesting round start. I don't know if that's optimal or not. This is why I gotta learn more about the matchup. Managed to get the JP a little offensive momentum going, but without errors, it's going to be a lot more difficult. I wouldn't say Bedman's like a trap character in this game. It's not like they were in... Not like you could say they were in Exard anyway. Such a strange character concept, you know? But this is definitely... Yeah, I was about to say checkmate for Markiplier. Not a checkmate situation, but it's definitely a win condition to have the opponent that low of a health at that range. Puts you in chip range for sure. Who on the board? Snorunt. Back to their drawing board. I recall they played Giovanna in the last tournament they entered. There we go, I was wondering. Tornado 17? Oh, interesting. I assume you aren't gonna press. Interesting. So we see the character who wants to be in at all times versus the character who excels at keeping you out. There's one way to keep people out, is to use that Rensen. That's a good instant block, not getting fully driven back by all the hits. Collecting a wall break. Flyer with more meter, catches it out on the super. That's Snorunt with a whole mess of meter to work with. Markiplier is just running. Remember, that super recovers very fast, so Snorunt doesn't even need to worry about spending extra meter to cash out on it. Be ready for the next thing. Markiplier just playing in the very frustrating zoner-like way. You know, you can't knock them for doing it if it works or how the character's designed. And it's just to not get scooped after the wild assault, but no punish. Snorunt. I think Snorunt's movements are just a little too flighty for what we're seeing from Markiplier. Getting that match through control. And I know what the bracket is called this evening, but Axel Lowe is not suffering. Not this way, anyway. Alrighty, we are going to be moving into the first section of top 8 right now. Have C-Drive versus Stinky Steve. We should be coming through in just a moment. Stinky Steve's already rolled up. That is C-Drive, who's come over here. You know, if I recall, last week, C-Drive was the one who sent Steve to losers, then eliminated him from the bracket as well, so this will be a nice little grudge match based off of what we saw last week. Intro roll. Hold on a sec, was that the Lila I saw? Oh, hell yeah! It's been quite a bit since we've seen Deadman from C-Drive, and I'm always excited to see it. Appreciate these gamers let the intro rock. Ooh, okay. Starting off looking for air movement from this gamer. it's a good example of what we've got to see in this matchup. Anji has to be very careful about using 6P. Bedman really wants to find a range where air movement into JH won't get clipped by 6P. If you're at just the right range, you can use JH's hitbox to kind of go under 6P's hitbox. We're seeing multiple malfunctions right here, chaining one after the other. C-Drive just collecting plus frames. No need to go for the safe jump there. C-Drive has no meter to work with. Not quite close enough, but that's one of Stinky Steve's specialties. Go for the quick purple Roman cancel into 2S and follow up with close slash. Get a little extra meter on the board. Saw a back throw incident there, little attempt to kind of turn the tables, but now C-Drive playing aware. Ooh, okay. Good Ko, good use of the plus frames from the aerial guard crush. Now C-Drive's the one getting the plus frames. It's probably a Midare that just never came out. You know, sometimes it doesn't happen if you try to go for it too late. Good use of deflect. Steve gets hit with the 3-point shot, driven towards the corner. More and more plus frames. Alright, manages to shut the malfunction down, but C-Drive with meter just sends it. It's going to be the first match on the board for top 8 winner's side. I'm going to take a sip of this here water now. A minute, y'all are starting. Oh no, it's time. Birthday train is coming. You know, Steve picked it intentionally. C-Drive just, Steve just lets the playlist rotate to it. They're truly built different. It's Birthday Train. Listen, I've said it before, Steve has the unsorted, randomly playing Guilty Gear playlist. They let everything rip. Not intentional evil. C-Drive, it's a great grasp on the bedman pressure. They're gonna fight their way out with that counter super, but with so much meter to work with, this is C-Drive's game to lose. It's gotta be like the drop of all time. You know, sometimes the error can play out instead of what you want to do, and you gotta roll with the punches. That's the 2H short to go for the malfunction. We're seeing 6H's counter hits here. The preemptive Ko shot down with a 6P. Managed to go under the 3-point shot with a spin. You've got to be careful about this preemptive spin, Steve. You know, it's been a pain for you this past couple rounds. It's a pain for you. What a bold challenge there. C-Drive fighting back with her. Wake up throw. Steve is playing very gutsy this evening. Just to find the exit to the next round. Air throw? Interesting. C-Drive's challenging. Deadman has a very good 2P. Has always had a very good 2P. Looks like just a little delay on that Fujin there. See the dash cancel there off this OTG. Didn't get it this time, but it is a great way to get strong spacing if you think the opponent's going to challenge on their or wake up, like with a mash or something, like Bedman might want to do. This is the range Bedman wants to be at. You gotta move in carefully. Dash blocking is key. Steve? Playing pretty darn aware. What? Hold up, I think the song's looping. How about that? Not quite. Someone pointed that out earlier. Listen, we're not getting mad at Axel. It's, if you've been paying attention to how Dual Rulers is going, you may have seen some artistic interpretations of a certain character's situation, and that sparked me to make the title. This isn't the first reference to Star Trek I've ever made when making a bracket title. Goes for the immediate spin. Not a bad option against Bedman. Bedman has slow, chunky normals in the mid-range. I've only seen the first episode so far. Putting C-Drive in the corner. Good 5p anti-air. Street Fighter 5 hours. Really, this looks like C-Drive's inch away from death. And he is. Getting the Midare this time. It's been a little inconsistent, but Steve is making it work now. He knows what he's up against with this Bedman champion. You know, I'd spend the burst there too. Just keep the corner. Good Ko. He's alternate between dash blocking and spinning to deal with this projectile barrage. Again, using air throw to put Bedman in the corner. Honestly, both these characters have great 2Ps for checking. You know, I respect it, Steve. I think in the right situation, Counter Super can beat YRC. I gotta lab that out just to see, because it seems really funny and I want to make it happen.
Mankind knew that they...
Potentially the last game of the set here. Dash blocking. Managing to 6p under the air projectile, which is classically one of Bedman's strongest options in these games. You know, air task A was a great way to set up the offense in Exard, as well as the needle here being a great way to set up offense. All this meter, you know, C-Drive, gonna clinch it with that super. No matter how you slice it at this point, C-Drive is locked into Bedman. I was wondering if we'd see a swap to Gold Lewis, since that's who C-Drive beat Steve with last week. But no, if C-Drive loses here, they're down in loser's side. If they win, you know, can't change character. So it's an interesting strategic play from C-Drive. I wonder if it's a statement, maybe a curiosity just to stick with Bedman again. Hail of needles. The install. Huge amount of plus frames to work with. Put perfectly there. They've committed to the bit. And this bit is a little bit of bed, man. Final match of the set. We'll see if it goes to the wire, if we get a 2 straight rounds here from either one of these gamers. Go straight for the scoop, not trying to get any kind of combo bursted out of. I respect it. The anti-air Ko, which has been a bit touch and go this evening. Controlling the corner now. Has a 100-meter on deck. This is a dicey situation for Steve Drive to be in, especially as Steve goes to set point. The thing, Anji's air moves are a little bit stinky. Gotta be careful using them. They can be punished, they can be beaten with air-to-airs. Nice conversion there from Steve. B-Drive, willing to hit the meter. Gets Ko. B-Drive with burst, yeah, spends it. And, you know, it's gonna be spooky here. Even if C-Drive manages to bring this back, you know, a lack of burst, you kind of want to see if you can drag this out or bait out a deflect shield from Steve like that. C-Drive baits out a throw. Steve already back to 50% for the burst, though. The 5P. We're in a double Luigi situation here. Delayed 2H, interesting. Manages to catch Steve asleep at the wheel. For shimmying. Going through the wall. Steve racking up all kinds of positives there. Both the bonus and the... You know, it looks like Counter Super cannot bait YRC, unfortunately. It'd be funny, but C-Drive getting one last burst, finding that perfect angle, like I mentioned, towards the very beginning of the set, to go under a 6P with JH with, not quite getting the conversion. Oh, no meter! Unfortunate, doesn't get the conversion fully to get that into use the task B as a proper combo ender and just gets punished for it. What can you do? Who's pinging me? I see pings on my Discord here. Alright, with that, Stinky Steve will be moving on to Winners Finals. But now, we're gonna have the next 2 gamers come through. Markiplier versus Rain. Rain has entered the building. Unable to make it last week. Has time this week. Posted the Johnny portal for everybody to lay eyes on in the Discord earlier. Always enjoy seeing Johnny all the way down.
Mankind knew that they cannot change
State Intoxication's a banger.
so instead of reflecting on themselves, they blamed the beasts.
No, not even letting it play out. Just go straight in. Markiplier, very strong. Not only that, but this matchup is maybe one that on paper Axel has more of an advantage than you'd think. Johnny, great mid-range, has long-range options, but Axel has the ability to just space him out. Not even Johnny has that kind of range, like that 2H range we saw a second ago. The scoop. Not putting Rain in the corner. I mean, spending burst. And it pays a dividend there, managing to get the card pop. Markiplier challenging. Managing to get a good conversion there. Another gamer with burst or wild assault on the table. check on the vault. Rain zooming in. Look, these gamers have a amount of resources to work with. Looking to punch through the tornado, but not quite. I learn new things about these games' interactions every day. Markiplier playing that out quite clean. One on the board. Excuse me, I gotta check this here notification that I'm seeing. It's been quite the past couple weeks for me. So I want to keep all my eyes open on everything that's coming towards me. Appreciate the little change of pace we have here, just a quick breather. While we do that, we're getting back into the game though. Again, Markiplier has safe intoxication, good to go. After my own heart, absolute banger of a song, always thought so. Dragging and pushing Rain as they see fit. Markiplier controlling the space in this game that goes over the far slash with a 2K. Devious move. Diabolical. Nana just has the tornado for a little bit of plus frame. Now we see Rain with a great close slash, counter hit starter, driving Markiplier to the wall. With meter. Rain with the throw challenge? After the YRC, throw out the button. Markiplier. He thinks compact. Ooh, gets shot during the startup of Rensen by that big Mistfiner. That level 2 counter hit that Mistfiner has now is so key. It allows Johnny to hit big conversions. Like that. Ooh, the Nsenga? Oh my god, he might be dead. He's very dead. Nsenga makes people explode in this patch. Perhaps looking for a burst there. Rain chooses not to follow up that 2K. Beat the J, get the wall break. Rain attempting to rally here. Goes for the overhead with the Mistfiner. The air-to-air vault? Okay. You know, sometimes you just input things a little incorrectly and not get the wall break you want. Markiplier has a ton of ground to cover, but has the tools to do so. Goes through the tornado with the far slash. Wild. Alright, Rain on the board. Never seen a far slash just go through the tornado like that. It must have been before it came active. Listen, the other day when I was playing against Johnny, I saw this man whip a whole bunch of moves, and when I hit like far slash to try and whip punish him, I immediately got counter hit for it, and I couldn't stand it. And like a level 2 counter hit though. I don't know what this Johnny champion is on. We're going into match 3 of this first of 5. First of 3, excuse me. Best of 5. You know, that's the wine. But it's been an hour, you know, give me another 10 minutes and it'll pass straight through me. The benefits of the fast metabolism. Rain getting harassed and harangued by these little 5Ps, 2Ps. What's looking dicey? You've got to be careful trying to play too preemptively against Axel. preemptive meets preemptive, you know, it's gonna be Axel who's gonna come out on top at longest range. Rain outside the far slash, the 6P range. Markiplier wisely challenging after the vault. You gotta keep your eyes open to the resources Johnny has on hand when using vault with the deal, and if Johnny has no resources, gotta challenge sometimes. Snail. Ooh, not quite in range. Snail is quite minus, remember. Over the scoop, it gets called out. Rain. Makes this conversion fatal. I thought my name wouldn't connect from that range, but Rain proving me wrong. I can't believe that hit from downtown. J Express coming in from the next station over. Goes over. And this is the kind of really tricky spot to be in. You want to aggress, but you don't want to get pushed out by these Axel normals. Now out of the corner. Now it's just getting in and finds the air dash. Rain with meter. Us for the hard knockdown. Collecting positive. Listen, it just has more range than it looks, you know? If you just look at it, you'd think it wouldn't hit. As for the overhead, Rain scouted for that burst. Manages to get the punish. Rain up 2-1 now. Excuse me, just a yawn, don't mind me. What will we see Markiplier do to Rally? I think the big thing so far is a lot of what's been doing work for Rain is we've seen air dashes timed well to go over these preemptive buttons. We've seen wisely used long-range buttons from Johnny to sneak around the tornado. It can be a bit slow, especially if you charge it. We'll have to see what machinations and designs Markiplier has to make a comeback. Getting the momentum carry from Wild. Spacing just outside the 5P range? Inside the missed fighter range? Rain! Excuse me? The American reset? The pirate reset? It's Markiplier's turn to space wisely. Till then, they get the big punish. Oh my gosh, he exploded! Rain is locking in. This deck is stacked right now. We saw only the best cards come out. None of these little deals like you'd expect from Johnny a lot of the time. Just the big neat deals that cost meter. Getting the back dash. What a dash under! Rain in a tricky spot. Again, the dash under! This repositioning is crazy! Rain is on set point, and up until a minute ago, it looked to be a kind of shaky lead, but now Rain getting the overhead with the resources. Little drop. Markiplier has gotta play careful for fear of getting crossed on. Oh my gosh, just get shot trying to go for the Winter Mantis. That's it. You show me, Jack from a deck of cards, and I'll show you a fool. That's, what just came up now. This Johnny champion in a winners finals. Rain. Making things look real nice. A little behind the scenes work there. Alright, we've seen a little bit of moving and shaking down on the loser's side of the bracket, which we will be shaking and moving to in just a moment. Emo Scooby-Doo, unfortunately eliminated. I thought I told loser's side to hold, but we'll let it slide this once. Hey Alpha Drax, I'm trying to @ you in Discord and I cannot find any kind of name that you would be addressed by. There we go, I found you. Took me a second. After that... sounds like a gamer entering the room, so... Alpha Drax. Interesting case. I looked them up for seeding purposes before the bracket, and I didn't find a whole lot of stuff. Participated in a couple burrito bowls, only a handful of WeebCups. The most recent one was quite a while ago, so a face we haven't seen in quite a while, not during my tenure of WeebCup at all, so nice of you to swing on by. It is a privilege and a pleasure to be in your presence. Always appreciate people coming through to fatten up the bracket. Y'all crack me up, you know that? Ooh, a Biken? Okay, okay. Always good to see some variety. We saw a Bridget last week when Shadow Gecko rolled through. Try not to tap my mouse too much. I notice I'm doing it as a force of habit. Alright, so... Biken... hasn't shown up in WeebCup in quite a while. If there's one thing I can say about this character, it's that they're a gorilla. This character can mix you, this character can go under things. This character is very strong right now. Kinda underrated. I'd put them at top 10 for sure. I don't know if they can compare to power seen in the likes of Gold Lewis and Johnny and Nago. But Drax, alright. Knows what they're doing. Vevfet challenges with a reversal stun dipper. I see. Not quite able to close it out. Gets that pressure from the tatami mat. Alpha Drax. Jousting in neutral. We're seeing 2 S's and 4 S's. 2H from Biken can be used to navigate the stun edge maze, but gotta be used sparingly. Very punishable on whip. Not quite able to convert into the wall break. Alpha Drax with a gutsy spend at burst there. And Vevfet getting the air dash in, and the pressure they need. Alpha Drax, short on burst. You know, this Kabari move. It's not the move it used to be, but it's still quite spooky with that big disjointed hitbox. As the corner now, Alpha Drax. Hang off a little bit. And Vevfet finding the room to escape. Driving Alpha Drax to the wall. Off the bag with Yozansen? Listen, we had all kinds of backshots last week. I'm happy to add Yozansen to the ever-growing list of things. Scoop. Just Yozansen. Alright. Drax is gaming. One on the board. Alpha Drax. Alpha Drax eliminated by Rain in one of the off-screen round 2 winners matches. tilionvevfet got here by defeating Sleepingsnorunt. Listen, Steve, you can't talk about sending me to the dungeon here. I'll send you to the dungeon. Wage. Start things off. Ooh, good air-to-air. Quit distracting me, Steve. I'm trying to commentate. Behind the back, Yozansen again. Drax closing things out with the big damage. That's what Baiken brings to the table. Not just great mix-ups, not just solid neutral tools. Not just gorilla button, but big damage as well. A glass cannon of a character. That looks pretty cool. Oh my gosh, tilionvevfet is getting mixed. We'll collect this burst. Collect that 50 meter. We'll call that the burst tax. I'm coining a phrase right now. Send it to infill if you think it's good. Drax up 2-1 now. I wasn't quite sure what to expect from Alpha Drax, but I'm liking what I'm seeing a lot. Moving into match 3 now. That JS reaches for miles. You know, if it whips, it's very unsafe. Good reversal, tilionvevfet. Starting to fly their advantages. Another good one is outstanding after that stun dipper. 2H, it's difficult to string into naturally if the opponent isn't crouching. Drax already on set point. tilionvevfet's got to lock in and rally. Ooh, nice XP! The follow-up with the Booter art working out very nicely. The big range on that move. The 6P. Okay, tilionvevfet's gaming. Alpha Drax is gaming now. Mom said it's my turn to play the video game. Just going for Yozansen again. Ooh! A behind-the-back Vapor Thrust? Not expected. Add that to the list of backshots. What an interaction. Remember, Yozansen is plus there after an IAD JS, so you gotta be careful fighting back against it. And even be timed so it can be frame trapped like that. tilionvevfet looking for a throw! Okay, has another chance at life. You know, I've been a victim of that too. I'll pull one out for you, tilionvevfet. Drax. Ooh, okay. Your projectile super versus my projectile super. Let's see which one works. Go for the heater. Make it work. Drax moving on. Like I said earlier, not the most, not sure what to expect out of them, but I'm pleased with what I'm seeing. It will go on to play C Drive in just a little bit of time. Next up, we got inXplotch versus Fatcatteddy. Step on into the square circle, fellas. We'll be having Ramlethal Valentine, if I recall correctly, versus a real grab bag of a character roster. You can see a Potemkin, we could see a Nago, we could see a Johnny, Thin, Kai, Soul. I've played against a Leo from Teddy once. Alright, inXplotch is pulling up to aforementioned square circle. Teddy coming in just a moment. Asuka? That's right, we have seen Teddy play Asuka before.
Duel 1. Let's rock!
Ramlethal theme, you'll love to hear it. Teddy is playing the game like they know how Asuka works. So that's, you know, drive moment 37. Game said it wasn't meant to be, you know. Axel had to, Asuka had to go back to the moon. He missed a podcast episode. The podcast guest pulled up and said, "Where are you at? Where are you?" I've seen Teddy has played Asuka before, so it's not the most unusual. It's not the most unusual choice we've seen from Teddy. Okay, basically nothing had happened, so we're not gonna worry too much about it. We're just gonna go straight into it. It's a starting hand and a half from Asuka. You know, just draw 3 water cubes and a lightning cube. Go on to the full moon deck. You know, I've never really commentated Asuka before, so it's gonna definitely be a real challenge. So I'm gonna focus. Don't have any sword to work with there. Teddy, about half a bar of mana and a single water cube. You know, with that kind of top deck and resources available, you just gotta fold the round. Looks like a stronger hand to start with. The big red, inXplotch knows what they're up against. Backdashes out of it. Hates the burst. Yeah, give me just a second. Once the next round starts, you can get in here. Teddy with no mana. And inXplotch with no swords, though. That could have been disastrous for Teddy. The overhead. Asuka. Desperately low on cards. I think Teddy doesn't quite have a handle on managing the resources yet. Yeah, it goes for a deck swap when they only had 1 card left in the hand. And you know what? I'm going to go into the... going to coaching 2, so... if you want to jump in on the mic, it's all you. inXplotch up 1. Rain, it's gonna be really funny if you jump in, and by this time, Teddy has already swapped off Asuka.
Alright, hello.
Hello. Oh no, there it is. I knew it. It's Leo time. You know.
Oh, it's Leo time? I
Leo.
can't commentate Leo. Goodbye.
Oh, take care. It's nice seeing you.
Have a good one. Good
Have a good
talking.
one. Oh, yeah, I knew it. Still, it's I want to get some more commentators on here sometime. It'd be nice to. I used to have the mics a little more open. Teddy holding down back in the corner, you know. Alright, managing to get the cross through, and this is where Leo can really clean up the good old bread and butter. Just cross through and start mixing. I made myself hungry for some German Kaiser roll now. Maybe some bratwurst. inXplotch working with barely any health. This is Teddy getting whittled away. Has a great position to work with inXplotch, but with Teddy's resources available, it's a scoop. Gotta be careful of that. Looking off. Looking out for any cross-up. Good check on the, Actually, I'm not sure if that was a good check. That looked like a very delayed, Gatling string. I don't see a whole lot of Leo either. It is nice to have a whole bunch of shakers and movers come through in terms of character choice this, bracket. inXplotch with both swords, gonna cash out and get a big boom. Even on rounds. Here's for the TK, or Pelly. Wrong game, but, similar function. Looking a little chunky here with these strings. Reversal out, just goes for the gold burst. inXplotch finding a great position to hold while they run in. You know, this character needs those plus 30 some frames. Teddy is slugging. He's not using these projectiles from this character at all, I noticed. There you go, catch the run through with the scoop. inXplotch remembering one of the best ways to play this matchup. The other best way to play this matchup, as a certain someone told me, is to instant block the run through, but I can't do that. You could not get me to instant block. If I had, like, family being held hostage and the only way I could save them was instant blocking, you know, I hope you left me something good. Slayer time.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Ooh. Catches the backdash, dandy step. Now we're seeing all kinds of cross-up shenanigans. The Master's Hammer, the run through, the dash through the dandy step. Alright, Teddy is starting to make some waves here. That round over in a trice. Range on Master's Hammer is way bigger than you think it is. It's like plus 26 or something. You must respect it, or you must disrespect it. Oh my gosh, it's over.
Perfect.
Barely have any time to talk about this dang character. Touching back on what was talked about earlier with the C Drive versus Steve match, we're at the point of this first to three where Teddy has to lock into the character. So can't swap off of Slayer now, so inXplotch, they find some way to adjust to things. You know, it is what it is. It has 2 more matches to adjust to things, but when over in chat, inXplotch is saying in all caps that they've not played against this character in 6 months, and that bodes ill. Slayer's undergone a good deal of change since that time. You have to look at whether or not gaps in knowledge come into play, and remember that gaps in knowledge is a legitimate way to win, especially if you're playing a low-tier character, which Slayer is not. I think if people say this man is below, like, top 5, they're out of their gourd. Truly off the gourd. inXplotch on set point, though. Yeah, big shock if Teddy gets eliminated here. We're crossing up, though. The big behind the back with the pile bunker. You know, don't get counter hit by Slayer Close Slash. This for a 6P, just checking any kind of attempt to assert themselves from Teddy. Overhead to fish for a wall break. Finds it. inXplotch working on a perfect. It's not gonna happen. You gotta be joking. Man, this video game. What happened? Arxis, when are you gonna fix the lobbies? Okay, this is a interesting situation to be in for sure. You know, being a TO and what it is, making decisions on how things play out. I think just inXplotch is yielding the set. Teddy, is that okay with you? You're fine with 2-1? inXplotch, you okay with that? Like, I'm willing to go either way. Whoever backs down first, you know, I'll work with that. Okay. Alright, Ted. Fighting words and Teddy, I'd rather earn it if nothing else. I'll pop back into the lobby there. We left Strive Earth Orbit, Greater Strive Galaxy, and Strive Wonder to follow, I guess. Alright, we've got a brief restart coming in. Listen, the game can be shaky. It's a Tuesday. Appreciate everybody's patience, empathy, understanding, and assistance throughout all of this. Oh no, Teddy is turning into a heel. Will be subjecting us to birthday train. I want y'all to boo this guy. I'm pretty sure I've got some kind of horrid emote to show this chat there. Let me see, what's the worst custom emote I can show everybody? This isn't a bad one. That's not a bad one, I like it. inXplotch is restarting the Guilty Gear Strive application. We'll be back in just a moment. Again, appreciate everybody's patience throughout everything. We love ourselves some Guilty Gear Strive despite everything. You know, sometimes you gotta connect to the server while getting back in. It's a good chance to talk about my joystick and the modifications I've made, though. I've had to swap over to a 4-pound spring, the first time I've done so in about 2-3 years. I mean, I guess we can go back to the match and stop talking about customizing springs and joysticks and arcade sticks. You really want. Caught with the rock. We haven't seen it in this setup to this point, I don't believe. As pointed out earlier in inXplotch's earlier match, you gotta be careful of the rock. You gotta be ready for it. Jump over it, backdash out of it. Don't let Ram collect plus frames. had the corner for a second there till the things got turned around. Good whiff punish on the K-Mappa. Sitting on set point now. K-Mappa is a real spooky button if I've ever seen one. It can go so far, but if you recognize the range, get your whiff punish ready. Baiting the burst. Just goes for it. Teddy's sending it. Teddy is sending it. You know, if you have 100 meter, why not? inXplotch does have burst advantage, though. Brother, that is some Igzard Johnny stuff right there, keeping the wall stick for so long. Will be closing things out. There's no way for Slayer to survive this. Eddie eliminated inXplotch 3-1. I'd like to hope this is intentional, because it'd be real funny if Strive Greater Cosmos is happening right now, and the game is exploding. This was your plan B? Absolutely demonic. Hope I'm not screaming into too many people's ears, though, because I leaned in. No, it's not. Plan B is been executed. Time to do schoolwork. I see how it is. Backing down. Cowardice. Hey, we're at a point in the bracket where we should be moving along just a little bit. We're gonna go back over to winner's side at the moment. Snaky Steve and Rain. We'll be looking forward to their match in just a moment. Winners finals. Coming direct to you now. You know, I feel you standing over there by the icebox and Mr. Pen, Steve. It's hot in this room as well. Johnny versus Anji.
Mankind knew that they cannot
Ooh,
change
like the song.
society. So instead of reflecting on themselves, they blamed the beasts.
Heaven or hell?
Nah, just skip it. We're in. Coolest spider threat is we're not gonna let it drop before we start the action. Eve with an early spend on burst. Use of dash blocking, but Rain scouting. Attempt to try and move forward. He's working well within the confines of the Nyx Rain is throwing at them, but it's put by that overhead. Seeing it perfect. Big back throw. Steve putting Rain in the corner. Not opting to confirm that 6P, instead going for a butterfly setup. You know, Johnny has such quick movements when they dash and backdash, just out of Midare range immediately. Steve fighting for their life at this moment in time. A little behind the back with the 6P. The burst with that close slash anti-air. Very quick, very clean round from Rain. right here. Don't mind me, just doing a little bit of admin stuff behind the scenes. I mentioned earlier that the UI has undergone a few changes, and I was
that they cannot change.
noting it's something that stuck out to me. Little 2S to start things off with. Round start can be pretty contentious between these two characters. 2S is a 10 frame button so it can be spun, but at the same time Johnny's far slash is 9 so it can beat spin, and Anji has to go for a 5k to try and beat it, which can lose to other stuff. So it's interesting to try and think about these kind of interactions. Hey, Steve's down to about 10% of their health, they're about to die. Let's just focus on the action, huh? No more theory talking. Good spin. And it's just to drive Rain back with the hard knockdown from Midare. But Rain with a bunch of resources to work with. Ready to shoot the J. B. Get the scoop. Scouts, you know, that was a good dust setup. Be keeping safe. It's not one I use a lot, so I may have to steal that for myself. You know, sometimes just a desperate run-in can work, but Rain's wide awake right now. That double shot of espresso. Sees everything. Just because the shades are dark doesn't mean can't scout every single option that's coming your way.
Man.
Ooh. A little bit of jousting at round start. That's where the talk about round start options at the last round pays off. XP, this spacing really is what kills this matchup for Anji. It's definitely doable, but you gotta navigate not quite the Sagat maze. I think Steve was finding himself in a good position, just didn't quite manage to close things out with how Rain was moving around. He's still alive. You know, the run up and play patient is a classic. And unfortunately, Steve left without burst at the start of this round here. May end up paying dividends for Rain. Scouts the throw attempt. Ooh, okay, a drop. Steve staying alive. Good check with the 5k. Very active, pretty quick. Great range. Alright, Steve is rallying. Definitely with the bigger life lead, but Rain with okay, burst? What did I call that earlier? The burst tax? Ooh! Steve! Okay. With the Steve special, Stinky Steve special. Now it's Rain's turn to spin burst. Minor. Ooh! Good check with 5p. Not quite able to convert that far slash counter hit. I think that's gonna... This may cook Steve's goose. Oh no! Oh, doesn't get punished for the Ko. You know, you gotta be counting your lucky stars after that. In the burst. Just gets scooped. Just an inch of life left. Fortunately, Starlight, Starbright, Stinky Steve's lucky star is no longer in sight. On winner's side, anyway. They'll be moving down to loser's side of the bracket for losers finals. Well, Rain moves on. The wait in Grand for one lucky gamer. We calling our loser side top 8 in now. Alright, we're moving in. C Drive. Sticking with Batman. Excuse me? Ah, okay, I have one gold. One moment, please. I appreciate your patience there. We've seen Burst get spent already. Alpha Drax pinned in the corner, playing around the Bedman game pretty well. V-Drive, that wicked JS, managing to fish for a counter hit. Over the needles. I mean, I've heard about being on pins and needles, but this is ridiculous. Drax blocking well, finding a good opportunity to fight. V-Drive has so much meter to work with, though, and spending with the YRC just puts Drax in a worse position, just overwhelmed by the sheer difference in resources. Fresh round, that's what Alpha Drax needs. Ends burst. Just goes for 5p. Remember, it's 4 frames. It's dubby, but it's fast. And that S version of Kabari. +3. Now. In the corner. Quick overhead. Covered by the tatami. Sees Alpha Drax with the round. Has burst. Has a 6p unlock. Conversion from the malfunction error. JS again. There's so much power packed into that button. This is surely it. No, has enough to burst. Ooh. I appreciate everyone who appreciates my bot commands. I can't remember which ones I do and don't have at this point in time, but anyway, focus on what matters. C-Drive versus Drax. It's interesting. The ranges we want to see. Viken, typically not thought of as like a super long range character. But Alpha Drax is playing pretty well around these longer ranges, using these mats and instant air dashes to cover them. We drive with meter and a good 5p anti-air reaction. Just getting caught by the malfunction as a combo starter, though. You know, no bueno, no me gusta. Really C-Drive's zoning game for sure. The big 6H counter hit. Disastrous. You know, you gotta spend first at that point in time. Gets caught by the fireworks. I appreciate Alpha Drax's commitment to playing a confusing game with the left-right. Pretty empty low. Pretty sure that's a safe jump setup? I don't know the specifics of this matchup, though. Any people more knowledgeable than I know about this Viking character, let me know. This is what the space in C Drive wants. Getting these conversions into the errors. I'm surprised you both of you went for air throw at that point in time. C Drive maintaining the corner. Again, gets japed by the jump JH. Drive. Spending a meter to keep things safe. Not quite. It'll close things out. This is a dangerous situation, not just for... Okay, the threat is off the table now. I was about to say Gun Super is on the table. I think that clinched it for C Drive. Gun Super can easily be used as a call out to destroy those pins. That's gonna see C Drive through. Let's see if I can... This one works. There we go. Save that one for whenever we get a Potemkin matchup. Alright, we're moving into match 3. C Drive. Potentially 2 rounds away from moving on. Loser semis. Axe has the corner right now. Surely we'll get a wall break. No hard knockdown. C Drive probably looking to hold on to burst. Drax not believing. Oh, just inside the range of the slam dunk. Drax, round on the board. A little too close to the round. Gets flipped by the JS for Bedman. Oh my gosh. And it's Roman cancel duels. Woo. Alright, C Drive, 1 round from victory. Goes over the White Wild Assault. First time we've seen it this whole bracket. Goes over the Escabari. 6Ps to keep Alpha Drax out. Now things are proceeding back to mid-screen. C Drive driving Alpha Drax to the other side. It's looking bad for Alpha Drax. C Drive with big resource advantage. Lucky shot! You know, sometimes suppressing fire gets the job done. Okay, Alpha Drax manages to steal the burst. I gotta say, I'm pretty surprised that C Drive didn't try to install at all. I saw a couple opportunities. Alpha Drax staying on the board. I love coming back to the room and Markiplier's just creeping behind the column up there, their aura swirling menacingly. Starting off a bit cagey. Defensive options for both gamers. Going over the function. C Drive making the most of their zoning. Alpha Drax taking advantage of the situation when C Drive gets in for a counter. Perhaps the first one we've seen all bracket? I'm not quite sure if we've seen one before now. This zoning maze that Alpha Drax has to navigate around, and a bunch of meter C Drive's working with. Goes for the gunshot. Just outside of range, though. C-Drive. Keeping themselves safe with burst. Not burst, meter, excuse me. Alpha Drax. Sneaking their way to victory. First counter? Alright, thank you. There were matches before now, but the ones that have been streamed. Okay, Drax. I don't know how you got from that side using burst, but Alpha Drax feeling pretty good about that, I'd say. Tell you what, one thing C-Drive doesn't have to worry about that Alpha Drax does is how easy it is to combo into your 2H low from your regular combo starters. C-Drive on set point, Alpha Drax. Hit by lows. And push to the corner. Doing it plus frames, more lows, and overhead. Just getting mixed. Oh, it's looking dire for Alpha Drax. Surely not dead, but C-Drive, you know, from downtown, the 3-point shot starts the beginning of the end. Gets that perfect on the board. Number 1 seed staying alive in the bracket. We'll be moving on to winners semis. Drax, it has been an absolute privilege and a pleasure to see you come through. Thank you very much. And anytime you're feeling up to coming through, we'll welcome you back. Moving on to Markiplier versus inXplotch next. Markiplier's already stepped up to the podium there. For Markiplier, number 3 seed for this bracket this evening. Knocked down here by number 2 seed Rain. Sticking with safe intoxication, you love to see it. This is going to be an interesting KG match in regard to the range. In a game of rock, paper, scissors, when it comes to scissors, whoever has the bigger pair wins. And if I had to pick 2 characters in the cast who I'd say have the biggest pairs of scissors, it would be these 2. Axel, maybe not the biggest flashiest, but certainly some of the spookiest to poke with. Or rather, get poked with. Ramlethal as well, big crushing hits. Markiplier collecting around. See how things are playing out. Markiplier getting work out of their jumping buttons. Be careful air dashing at this guy. Really getting the most mileage out of these air buttons from Markiplier. We're seeing overheads, we're seeing air to ground attacks, air to air attacks. But that's just the story of how Axel works, you know? He wants to control the air. It's what he's done since his inception as a functional character, which he was not in Missing Link. Axel, maybe the single least functional character in that whole game. Maybe more so than Potemkin. Just joke of a character. Markiplier F1. I think it's a good long range for rushing in. C-Drive, come on now. Going over the sword toss. inXplotch without a sword to go through the tornadoes in neutral. Gotta be an interesting thing to consider. Material advantage, to use the chess term. 6p to check inXplotch running in. Remember, Ram's 2S is a little on the short side. With 6p, not a bad option. Driving Markiplier to the wall. Collecting plus frames with Ondo. Getting a hard knockdown. Windshield wipers to get big damage and a hard knockdown. I'm not sure with the sword explosion or the windshield wipers got Markiplier there. inXplotch will be closing this out as we move into round 3 of match 2. This first of 3 set. Caught with a throw. Trying to go over Markiplier, and that's setting the stage for the most part. That said, life values are pretty even, all things considered. Markiplier with a slight edge with health and other resources. inXplotch has the wall, though. Fights their way out, finds a spot between the explosion and the sword. Now with no material advantage, inXplotch puts the sword back just in time to get flipped out a couple of these little air pokes. Axel's so good at. 2-0 now. Markiplier looking very strong. We're not seeded third lightly.
Mankind.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Markiplier making the stronger start with good advantage followed by that counter hit. Splotch getting pushed out of the corner once they found a good position. In a game where you rank 9 out of 10, where you have 9 points out of 10 in terms of range, you know, what do you do against someone who is a 10 out of 10 in range? By the overhead, I think inXplotch just isn't quite ready for it. For the Jetro, I believe is what that flip's called. Manages to get a little bit of positional advantage, but with an RC, Markiplier so close. He does find it. 3-0. Markiplier will be moving on. As I said in the Discord here, before we go into our next match, losers semis, need to take a quick break for about 30 seconds. I'll be right back. Just hold tight, everybody. Alright, thanks for your patience, everybody. It's, outside of playing the video game, it's been a lot of stuff happening, so just need to keep my eyes peeled and awake and alive in that regard to that sort of thing. Alright, we have got C Drive and Markiplier coming up next. Markiplier hanging out on player 1 side, C Drive over on player 2 side.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society.
Let's rock. I'm getting pinged on Discord. I'll have to get to that in just a moment. C Drive already has Markiplier in the corner, and again, this is a curious case of a matchup where both players want to be at this nice mid-range for different reasons. Ooh, inside the rainwater range there. Allows C Drive the ability to find a chance to sneak in. Drive Markiplier to the corner, but Markiplier playing around these projectiles quite well. Not spending burst. Might a big malfunction. What is C Drive gonna do? Just get caught, punished even. Wasn't quite sure if C Drive was in range. No big ranged option there. C Drive just kind of has to chip away with projectiles, and the install will certainly help with that. Look at this movement from Markiplier. Bold burst. Very gutsy. And manages to call out the jump. Axel with great moves to call out every angle of attack when you're in the air. You gotta be careful. And, you know, a 6P like that is nothing if not careful. With plus frames after the malfunction, you gotta worry about spacing there. Markiplier just shimmies out of the way of the tornado. You know, you ever go down the tornado alley and tell people, whatever, just shimmy it? You know, you probably get your ass beat for doing that, but C Drive made it work. Closing things out with the snail. Markiplier puts the first W on the board. I have a moment to check my things here. Alright, we're back into the game. Appreciate your patience and everything. Drive. Collect a little damage on the board. Markiplier, I think maybe the best tools in the game to try and eliminate C Drive's material advantage. Remember, these error follow-ups go away on hit or block. C Drive with the corner. Markiplier just scoops? I wonder if C Drive is going for a throw attempt there. We saw a dust. Perhaps a misinput. Markiplier going for the just jump over mix-up. C Drive's turn to... They're back to the wall. Axel. Ooh, that kill! Deadman has a good defense modifier, but low guts, so when the health starts to really bottom out, things will do a bit more than you'd expect it to. Still surprised that Axel Bomber killed. Markiplier 2-0 versus C Drive now.
Mankind.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
An early bomb head there. Error. C Drive. finding a little hard to find a good spot to shoot from. Fire going pretty much unchallenged here. No anti-airs, no checks on the run-ins. E-Drive, playing scared. Will get finished off by that super. Markiplier looking to make a clean sweep. One set point now. C-Drive starting the offensive. No material advantage from that needle shot, but does manage to get a little chip on the board. Push Markiplier in the corner. Good use of FD to lessen the advantage from the malfunction. A little bit of the cross up there with the overhead. Winter Mantis, we're gonna see the time stop combo. Knock away, C-Drive. Able to survive this time. It's 100 meter. There we go, there's your 6P. It seems like it's too little too late at this point, unless C-Drive can really make a miracle happen. You know, if 2K is not a miracle of design, I don't know what is. Number 1 seed. Going home in... what's this? 4th place, I want to say? Yeah, 4th place. Appreciate them coming through. It's been real. Been great having you. Seeing you come through to defend the title. But we're gonna move on to losers finals now. That means Stinky Steve versus Markiplier. You know, doing that, just doing it is half the battle. It's all well and good to have a game plan in your mind. You gotta act on it. You gotta lab out what you need to do. You need to have it at the ready. Yeah, the muscle memory, exactly. This is an interesting kind of matchup. I've said before that Anji kind of gets worried by characters with big, long pokes. Characters like Axel, Testament, Ram, Johnny. And you might not think so immediately because spin functions as a great tool to beat them. Which we see a great example of there. Thank you, Steve. Couldn't have coordinated it better myself. You'll get your paycheck on the man tomorrow. But spin has 10 frames of startup and 10 frames of recovery. So if the opponent's playing preemptive, they can beat spin to the punch and make Anji worry. If the opponent's playing really patient, they can wait for a spin to end and then counter poke it. Collect their counter hit since it is counter hit recovery. So there's a real back and forth to it, but Anji wants to play a very grounded game, so you might think he doesn't have to worry too much about Axel's anti-air pokes, but he kind of doesn't have a whole lot to do against Rensen. He can dash block, sure, but at maximum range, you're gonna dash block into another Rensen. It's gonna keep pushing you, and you know, something's gotta give. Your meter or what Axel wants to do. You air dash. It's a big call out. You gotta be careful of them anti-air buttons. As I've been saying, those anti-air buttons are cracked, and Anji does not have great air options. Steve trying to make it work though. Good tech from Markiplier. See, there we go. Steve wanted a little spin, and Blair just got the punish on it. Anyway, that's my my theory crafting of this matchup. From having experienced it myself a lot. And I definitely think I gotta hit up Markiplier. Talk to me sometime. We gotta arrange some time to play a match because I find Axel to be very frustrating a lot of the time, and I wanna work on that. We're moving into match 2.
Mankind.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
There's a Ko. Ko is, in general, kind of a risky move, even more so against Axel, because if you do it recklessly, he has the best moves in the game to shoot your Ko down. There we go, there's a great air dash to get in. Steve, rotating the options wisely. Quite getting a pickup on that. Markiplier is making an escape towards the mid-screen, driving Steve towards the corner. It's gonna be a big point of worry. Ooh. Not even trying to extend those hurt boxes to get anti-air, just playing patient. I respect it for Markiplier. It's a good tactic. Ooh. Unfortunate drop from Steve. Loses the corner. Markiplier gets a big chunk of damage and meter to work with. Markiplier is looking for those spins. Unfortunately, I think Steve did not quite know how to deal with the Winter Mantis, just seeing it happen. You gotta have a game plan. This is what I was talking about earlier. You gotta be careful of Rensen. Good cancel on Markiplier's part to keep things safe. Not only does it net them the W, in the case where it hadn't, you can shut down a safe jump attempt. Because if on a successful spin at long range, Anji can and will get an advantage against Axel, no matter how far out he is. Get yourself your safe jump set up. Oh my gosh, Markiplier wanted a Fujin at round start. I think Steve may have misinputted one. Scooped? He's usually doing a lot of air dash scoops throughout the brackets, so now it's his turn, I suppose. Markiplier just walking all over things here, finding a great range to bully Anji at. Collect the perfect. Doesn't get the pain with Snail. Again, shooting down the recovery on Finn, playing patient. Ooh. Not able to collect that safe jump with Hidare. Markiplier is playing too aware. There we go. Great anti-air from Steve. Starting to find a couple things to work. Markiplier, I tell ya, playing with some fuzzy throws in their heart. Alright, Steve wants the gold burst there. What Steve really needs at this point in time. Ah! I was about to say, Steve might have looked to introduce some shimmies into the game with Markiplier taking throws as good as they were, but no dice, no chance to do so. Markiplier moving on. Steve, you've been a real card. It's been a privilege and a pleasure to see you come through again, as it is every week you do. Typically the first person to sign up for the bracket, Sneaky Steve. At this time, be saying goodbye to them. Eventually, it looks like they're gonna rummage around in my icebox first. It's grand finals time. Markiplier vs. Rain. Oh yeah, definitely. I try to reach out to whoever I can to see if I can get more faces to come through, but you know, it's been a bit of a drought for new faces. Ooh. Hello? Hopefully that interesting stuttering on the intro won't carry over to the match. Remember, Rain is the one who put Markiplier in losers in the first place, so I think you see his finished rummaging around in my icebox. Rain, trying to find a healthy distance to back off, it seems, without giving Markiplier a chance to assert themselves. Only an inch of life left. A little sliver. Just little 5p to close things out. I missed the old 5p animation from Johnny, the finger snap. Bit of a disappointment. Remember, everybody balks at Johnny players complaining about the -15 Mistfinder, but this is a situation where it's really meaningful. Axel has the means and the moves to punish Mistfinder on block. Not something many characters can do simply because the man lives in a whole different area code. Rain, though. It's a huge advantage at the moment. Markiplier with burst. Doesn't get a chance to use it. The Jack. One on the board for Rain. Only has 2 more matches to win. Remember, Markiplier coming in from loser's side has to get a bracket reset, and you know, if these are the first steps we're taking in moving towards closing things out, it looks like that's going to be a steep hill to climb. Talk about a bad break? You're telling me. A bad beat, even. I've resolved to... You know, the week Venom came out, I was studying up on billiard terms so I could use them in bracket the same way I use puns, card puns when commentating again when a Johnny's on screen, and nobody's picked Venom. It's been so disappointing. Never had a chance to yet. Haven't gotten a chance to talk about who's getting skunked. Anything like that. Forgotten so many of the terms here, but what we're seeing now is Rain playing close to the chest. Ooh, getting scooped. Card on the table. Rain. Listen, that was the week of. I was prepping for next week. I never forget your mirror with Teddy, see? Rain halfway to victory with a round and a match under their belt. We'll be collecting the positive going through the wall. Woo. Stash. This for the vault. Card on the table. Not able to collect. The spacing. Markiplier. Playing hard to get now. It's backdash. Backdash is one of the best ways to check against Winter Mantis. Great dash under. Takes the trick with the card toss. Oh, popped up though. Rain, inch away from Chip. Unfortunately, that's a situation where you know, say Markiplier has the better kicker. You know, shake it off, come back next hand. Might be check. Getting the throw card on the table. Pushed in, collecting those plus frames. Very dicey situation to be in. Markiplier with Gold Burst, though, managed to shake off that dash under. Again, gotta look out for tornado in neutral. This Finer should be able to punch through that now with the buffs, don't you think? Especially with a card toss on the table. Rain? Dicey situation. Yeah, have to spend meter in order to keep yourself safe from that, and spending too much against Rensen takes away your card toss. So it's already an uphill battle, but just being in that situation. Looping Rensen pressure at full screen, what can you do? Spend the resource you need to win, but Rain still has a shorter path to take to victory. We'll see if Markiplier can get there first. The reset happened.
Mankind knew that they cannot.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Rain taking the corner early. No punish, finding a great spacing to use Mist Finer. Rain spent the Wild Assault earlier, unable to escape from that counter hit, but still finds a great position to be in. Markiplier pushing out though. 6k. It's an interesting little anti-air there. Takes the trick. Life looking very even now, but resources are on Markiplier's side. The bigger reserve to work with. Ooh, just clipped by the overhead. Clips Markiplier. What? Yeah, there we go. The Rensen pressure to maneuver Rain into a position where the bigger pokes can hit. Rain fighting out though. Coast to coast combo, and Senga too far out to punish. Able to quite get the punish on Mist Finer with the 2H. I see some Mist Finer cancels coming into the equation. Markiplier has so much resource to work with now. We may see... No, just fighting their way out. Spends all their meter. Not all of it, mind you. Just enough to get things taken care of and an RC, but it's enough to go below one option. Calling out the Rainwater. It's a great option for escaping from round start options, but Rain jumping into the air to call it out. Ooh, there's a shimmy! Remember I was saying last match, Markiplier is doing a great job at teching throws, and a shimmy may be needed in the equation. Rain took that to heart. There's KG neutral, just run in! Markiplier spending. Ooh, the empty vault? That was such a good idea! Just goes over the Rensen. Manages to get the punish. Now with the Vault RC, Markiplier first to spend meter of their own. Markiplier, back throw incident after Rain spends the meter. That's gotta be a big psychological blow, just spending that resource to get scooped. Rain has a little more resource to work with though. Spends the Wild Assault in the dust. Flipped by the overhead. Rain, 2-1 now. Markiplier in a dicey situation. Huge hill to climb. 5 matches total to win. In a row. Not in a row. 2 in a row, then 3 more. I think Markiplier does have a path to victory, sees it, but will just have to make a bunch of right reads in order to make it happen. Remember, Johnny is a character with best-in-class normals. Best-in-class movement. Best-in-class? Has excellent movement at worst, you know? Axel, very specialized character. Excels at something that Johnny is great at, but not as good as a bunch of other things that Johnny is great at. Rain making they're a good approach with varied options. Good 2K check from Markiplier there. Yeah, Johnny can struggle to get exactly where he needs to sometimes because of the nature of his step dash. Ooh, what a scoop. Remember, that's pretty safe, that spinning chain strike. In with a big bunch of meter, though. And just call it the air throw, but this is Markiplier's game. 2-2 now. Markiplier on the verge of a comeback. We'll have to see how it can work. Let's rock. Goes under the 6H with the 2H. Markiplier starting strong. Rain spent burst. And finding the pressure after that spinning chain strike. I think Rain's got to be pretty careful setting these cars down. Markiplier checked that one earlier. Approaching too recklessly leads to getting shot down by 5P, 6K, and its ilk. So you gotta challenge sometimes after the vault of the deal, but what you challenge with has a lot of big implications. If you use a short range button, what if Johnny backdashes? Pushing Rain out. A dicey situation. Rain with more resources no longer has the corner, but Markiplier's retreating. JH counter hit. Markiplier is going to start off with a bit more burst after that W from the last round. Dashing in, but no, not quite inside Rainwater's range. Force the burst. Rain. Really like that use of deflect to try and lock Rain in the corner. Not just finding a great range to poke with the likes of Far Slash and... Hang on a minute. Don't mind me. You couldn't get a nice, exciting closeout for you. You had to shoot that guy. Alright, we've got a bracket reset. Grand Finals, Rev 2. Markiplier and Rain.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
The big counter hit with Mist Finer. Getting dragged in immediately by the Melody chain after Rensen. Rain learning from the last couple games. Roman canceling to keep the card toss safe. Quite able to get that pickup with the tornado, but working on a big life lead here, Markiplier. Good whip punish with a close slash. Rain. Not quite able to convert with Nsenga, but I think No, but this isn't gonna kill, but it's gonna be big damage. This is gonna be a huge comeback from Rain. Gonna get all up in Markiplier's grill now. And has the meter too. This is spooky. Ooh! Quick shot from the hip with the misfire there. Big air-to-air to close things out. Starting off this next round strong. Taking a big chunk out of Markiplier with the nice wild to start conversion from round start. Markiplier has the corner now. Rain with 100 meter though. Markiplier's got to play wary. They're playing bold. Keep him in the corner, get that wall break. But do you want Johnny in neutral? Well, if you're Axel, you do, I suppose. Back throw incident. 3. Look at Johnny's movement, just getting in. Oh, a big whip punish on the US. Burst has been spent on both sides. The dash under. Rain. It's been so decisive and precise with those dash unders. Alt RC to collect the pressure. Skipping the neutral. Not punishing the misfinder there, that's key. The back throw incident. Markiplier wants to keep Rain out. Good backdash. Doesn't cancel and gets clipped by the JH. Markiplier has 1 on the board now. All right. It's running in. Rain starting off with great positional advantage. Markiplier just checking their way. Oh, just runs out. My man in a film with the explosion right behind him. With a good life lead now. Markiplier gets more resources, but I think a stray counter hit from Rain's gonna hurt a lot more. Yeah, there it is. Not even trying to get in close, just getting a card on the table. Oh my gosh. Puts the preemptive card out. The air throw. Rain starting to take things more to the skies in an interesting way that's working out. We saw earlier the air-to-air misfinder to close things out. Again, the bar slash should go through the tornado. And this is Rain's game to lose, really. More resources, positive bonus, quick little air-to-air. Maybe challenging Markiplier in the air is the answer Rain has been looking for. Axel does have a great JP to work with, though. Stretches out pretty far in front of him. JD is a close range answer to that. The good old drop kick. And in older versions of the games, has his very own dust loop that he can actually do with JD. Markiplier, take it to the air, Rain the card on the table, just vaults over it again, like we saw earlier. And with that card on the table, manages to get the conversion off the mix-up and save the meter for this J that gets shot nicely. Ben's Wild Assault, why not? You're under the duration of positive bonus. Alexa perfect. Rain looking strong. And finding an air-to-air. Markiplier takes advantage of it on the ground once things go there, though. See, there we go. JP, like I was saying earlier. That seems to be Axel's magic ticket in this situation. Markiplier is playing aware of all kinds of golden tickets. Toss the card. And with the card on the table, Markiplier blocks it with Wild Assault right back in. Rain pushed out. This is where Markiplier wants to be. Look how these anti-airs are working. Just a 5p here, a 6k there. Little 2p once Rain's decided to stay on the ground. Has to be blocked low. A lot of damage can be real annoying. It's the early positive. That counter hit not leading to much as a result. It's got a misfinder range. Markiplier takes advantage of the 2H. It's starting to look stronger for Markiplier. Look at this jousting with the RCs. Just goes over the 2H. Not as long a recovery as Rensen, though. It's Markiplier's game. Card goes away on hit, but not on block. In the meter. Markiplier. 2-1 now. Looking dicey. Fire swung the momentum back in their favor. Mix of JP using their anti-air as well. Not quite getting that scoop. Not gonna hurt too bad. That scoop. Counter hit after counter hit for Rain to work with. Already managed to split Markiplier's wings in regard to burst. No chance to escape from a big hard knockdown that grants them positive bonus. Rain finding the overhead mix-up. Take the trick there. Woo! Surely going for an air throw there. Counter hit misfinder has Markiplier against the wall. It's a little 5p. To the vault, into the overhead. And Senga. Markiplier very down in regards to resources. Rain scouting for a burst. Doesn't manage to properly bait it out though. He does find the perfect though. You're getting clipped by that burst. 2-2. Getting exciting. Friendship. Rain closing in with the Wild Assault. Good on Markiplier to call out that card toss. They've been good about that this whole evening. Just gets the big explosion from Rensen. Goes back in the corner just to get the mix-up. Now taking Rain to the wall. Huge damage. Do you want to spend burst at this point in time? Surely not, right? If it goes to... gonna go to game 3 and you surely won't get it back in time if you don't spend, if you do spend it here. no matter how well you play. Yeah, I'm deputizing you so you can start blasting freaks if they show up in the chat. Fire. Tornado. We're fighting through it, and now we're just seeing these little worrying and nagging normals. Ooh, what a call out for the vault. The empty vault. Those are the spinning chain strike. Have something ready. The run a pro, Markiplier. Oh! Doesn't even have to worry about burst. It's Markiplier's game. 3-2. A close grand finals that swung around like a pendulum. And that is going to do it for WeebCup 194. The one where Axel Lowe did not suffer. Friends, thank you for coming through this evening. It is, as usual, a privilege and a pleasure seeing you all. It is a privilege and a pleasure running this bracket. I've enjoyed each and every one of you coming through, and it's been a great time despite all the technical difficulties here and there. I'll try and get a bracket put up, maybe the next couple days. Yeah, I appreciate it. You're welcome. It's, like I said, it's a privilege and a pleasure, and I just enjoy doing this because I entered in WeebCup for so long. I wanted to do a little bit of my own, and it's been fun learning to commentate. It's been fun getting everything taken care of. And with that, we're going to be moving on to somebody else's stream. Typically the key play is to not raid anybody who is doing anything Guilty Gear related. Is Bracket About Nothing doing... Bracket About Nothing is not doing a beginner bracket. I usually raid them when doing beginners, so who are we gonna go to today? You know, Red Muffler Man is playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Capsule Monsters, and it's been quite a while since I've said hi to Red Muffler Man, so I'll send you all over to them. You have a good rest of your evening, everybody. Tell Red Muffler Man what's good, and have a good rest of your evening. I'll see y'all when I see y'all, and take care, everybody.